She came to visit me in New York, and we were walking down the street, and she went to the wrong doorway. And I mean, I'd lived there for 10 years at that point, and she definitely knew where my apartment was.
She would leave to go to work about 50 miles, and every day she would call and say, call me back in a few minutes. And what was happening, she was getting sleepy and would pull over and take a nap.
We sat down with the neuropsychologist, and he talked to us about what the testing was going to be. He did some initial testing with Arnie, and quite frankly, my stomach dropped to my feet, and I wanted to throw up. Because some of the initial testing showed things that I had no idea that he couldn't do.
Dementia is sort of the umbrella term that means cognitive impairment. There are many, many, many different diseases that can cause dementia. Alzheimer's disease is the most common, making up about 65 to 70% of all the dementias.
One of the first steps I always tell people is to go to an elder law attorney, first off, to make sure your finances are in good shape. Join a support group. The information you get from a support group is invaluable. The more you know about this disease, the easier it is to cope with it.
Do you remember which one your room is? Mm-mm. Keep walking. Mom is just really interesting to watch because every day is a different day. And you look at her, some days she's just really up and on and ready to go, and other days, like today, she was very sedate. She's in her own world.
Okay, grab the handle. Grab the handle.
Oh. I don't know if I can reach
Okay, step up. Put your hand here. Step up on the running board. Right here. Put your foot right here. There you go. Now step up. There you go.
Okay. Can I get up here?
Uh-huh. Very good.
You know, we carry our little supply bag around. It has the pens and they're actually pull-up underwear. We have that and all kinds of things to grab and keep her attention. And you learn over time you need those kinds of things, because if the car is a mile away in some garage and things start to go bad, what do? So we just take the bag everywhere. You okay, Ma?
If you can focus on the things that the person is still able to do, you can suddenly realize all the opportunities that there are.
Branches off.
With something to focus on to do together like this, I'm not having to think of questions to ask him to engage conversation, and then him being frustrated not knowing how to answer me. So there's a connection we can make, even unspoken, just out of the intuitiveness that we have in the arts, I think.
Ain't nobody gonna blow it out. I'm gonna let it shine.
I think what you find in Alzheimer's is because there's no medicine to alter the disease progression, it's a series of medications to simply manage the symptoms.
About 3 years ago, Don was put into a study at Johns Hopkins where a DBS unit, deep brain stimulator, was placed in his brain near the fornix. And what they are hoping that does with the impulses that it sends, that it will help Alzheimer's patients be able to communicate.
I can't even hardly put a sentence together when this is turned off.
It's amazing how many do this alone. That's hard for me to believe, but it happens. You've got to have the support. I can't imagine. We got a great family.
The fact that this brought us all here together, I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that he's sitting out there and laughing and smiling, and there's still a lot left. We're not quite to his shell yet. I feel like there's so much, and it's a beautiful thing. And sometimes I'm very thankful. I feel like this is time that we're not taking for granted. So to me, that today's a good day.
That's for sure.
Do you claim all of us?
Yes.
Okay, so we all belong to you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How's things in the office today?
Office today is wonderful.
I mean, he'll get upset when I'm trying to tell him what to do in the shower because they feel like they don't need help. I've been doing this my whole life. Get the F out of here. But I don't get the F out of here. I stay there and I continue to do what has to be done, and it all gets done. He thanks me. So it's just different every day. You just don't know. You don't know.
There's this judgment we put on caregivers and family members about whether they do or whether they don't, and how they do it, how they treat and how they talk. And everybody's so scared about this thing, and they're so silent about it, that I think it all goes underground. And so there's a lot more ugly stuff going on. We've got to start being aware that every time there's a person living with dementia, we actually have 2 people who are really struggling.